In this video, I'm going to show you how I'm going to turn this teak table that I found on Facebook Marketplace from this into a brand new looking table like this. Hi everyone, my name's Justin. Welcome back to Sarah Creations. I found a very nice teak table on Facebook Marketplace, and if you've watched a couple of my last videos in the shop, I use a lot of walnut maple, but my favorite type of wood is teak. Coming from the boating industry, I had to do a lot of teak maintenance to boat decks, and when it comes to teak furniture, gets a little bit more complicated just because you have more grooves and it's not really a flat section that you can just clean like a teak deck would be on a boat. So right now the list that we have to do is we're going to two-part it. I'm not going to pressure wash it. I don't like pressure washing teak. We're going to two-part the teak just like we would on a boat. With snappy teak, and then we're going to put some teak oil on it as well. Included with this table are 3 chairs, and it's going to go on the deck that I just finished in the last video. So overall shape of the table, there's all these little strips of wood. All of them are in really good shape. The only one that I see that might not be in good shape is this one, but just because it has these crackings here, it is still really solid, just as solid as all the other ones. And then over here, looks like we have a little bit of warpage, but you know, for 50 bucks, that's pretty good. I'd say this is a really good find for Marketplace. Now, I'll get a little bit more into depth of how I do it. It's actually pretty simple. We're going to start with the first step, put it in the bucket, take my pad, and then just spread it around on the table on every single surface I can. The longer it sits on the teak, the better. And with the sun coming out, it's not the biggest issue, but you don't want to let it dry. If it does dry, I don't think it's the end of the world, but it's best to keep it wet and keep the product on there. So let's get everything hooked up, and then we'll put the first part in the bucket and start scrubbing. First step, wet the whole thing down. We're gonna do first part, I'll throw it in my bucket, start scrubbing it around, and you'll see that the teak is getting darker. Gets very goopy. There's goopy substance that comes out. That's okay, that's supposed to happen. That's all the dead fibers in the teak being lifted up, and that's what you want. This is what it looks like. Well, right there is dry, but that's not two parted. And then this is what it looks like after the first part. It darkens it up like crazy. Now, the first part is the cleaner, second part is the brightener. So it will not be this dark. It's just the acid that lifts everything up, makes it all goopy and dark, but then the brightener is really gonna make it look golden again. So here's another thing to think of or look out for when you do your first initial pass. Right here on this board, that lighter gray color, that's okay, but if you see a bunch of that, might as well hit it again. It's not the end of the world, but the more gray you can get out, the better. I got a little bit here, a little bit there, then a little bit there and there. It's like a lighter gray and a darker gray. You more want to have the board look uniform and dark. That's the key. Now, because every piece is different, you'll have different wood grains and just different looking boards all around. It's okay. But the more gray you can get out, right there, the more gray you can get out, the better. So I'm gonna hit this one more time, hit the edges, then we'll move down to the legs. All right, this is it after a second pass. Still have a little bit of gray, but I'm not too worried about it. I think the second part is gonna take care of it. So now the next step, we're gonna flip the table around and lay it in the grass, and then do the legs and all in here. So now we're going to move on to the second part, and you'll see how bright it gets. Right now it's dark after the first part, but this stuff's really going to make it pop, make it look gold again. It's not really turning as orange as the bottom so far, but definitely is getting brighter. Not too bad. You can kind of see the wood down here is definitely a lot more oranger than the top. I was kind of hoping that the top would change colors a little bit more, but it did brighten up. So I do plan on doing a light sanding on the top anyway. Let's get this hosed off, and we'll let it dry. Here it is after two-part. It all dried up in the sun, probably dried up in an hour. That's why I love teak so much, is it dries super quick. I'll show you guys some close-ups of how it looks. There's still just a tad bit of gray, but it's okay because the wood is, all the fibers are kind of popped up. So I'm gonna do a quick light sand on everything, and then that should smooth everything out. But overall, super happy with how it turned out, and I'll show you the difference here. So you see the table and how bright it is, and then you see this chair in comparison. Big difference, big difference. You know, I like the way teak looks just after two-part, how it's all bright and kind of tan like this, but it's gonna be outside. The table's gonna live outside on the deck, so gotta oil it just to have protection. Still some gray spots there, and then a little bit of gray fibers here, but they're all sticking up. So when I go to sand this off, it's gonna be super easy, super easy. I checked all the boards. Everything is pretty sturdy except this one. This one has a lot of bend. Not really sure why. It looks like the whole thing kind of warped sideways, which is okay, but overall, pretty good. I'm super happy with it. All right, top is sanded. This edge right here is sanded. It is smooth. I'm gonna flip it around, put it on some sawhorses, and then we'll get the edge right here, take the legs off, do those as well, and then it's oiling time. We'll put some oil on it, and it'll be done. This is the only bad thing about doing it in your backyard. Grass ain't level. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll get myself a shop. Who knows? We'll see. I'm gonna show you the difference between sanding and two-part, or just where it kind of used to be after sanding, because I'm not gonna sand the whole entire bottom, kind of just like the outside. I don't really care about the inside of the table, but let me show you. That's basically what it used to look like. And then if you come into here, it's nice and smooth. So the table is sanded. Put it up here on the deck just to see what it would look like. And it looks really good. All the way from the legs to the top. Now that the table is cleaned and sanded, now it's time to move on to these chairs. Not too thrilled about it just because it's going to be a little tedious. I got to get into these grooves, but we'll get to it. I got a little carried away. After two-parting the chairs, did not like how they came out. It's either I didn't put the two-part on there for long enough, or it's just the nature of the wood and it just got all like frizzy and kind of hairy. So I ended up sanding this one. That's why I got carried away. I didn't film any of sanding this because I kind of just wanted to get the lay of the land. But luckily, I got 2 more chairs to sand. Great? I don't know. This one took, I don't even know how long, probably like 4 hours. But now that I know what to do, should take less time for the other 2. Still gonna take a long time. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's sanding. But I'm gonna show you the difference from sanded versus just two-parted. You can see it's still gray, but you got all these hairs up on the grain. I don't know if you'll be able to see that on camera, but you got all that junk and it just looks rough. It still just looks old, right? But after sanding, it's actually pretty smooth. I mean, look at that right there. Nice and smooth. Still a little bit of gray. I'm not really too worried about it, but it's smooth, it feels good, and it's not that rough looking. Still has a little bit of roughness. The chairs are definitely more worn down than the table was. But yeah, sanded, not sanded. All 3 chairs are done, which means I am completely done with sanding. Just check out how much smoother they are. Now that the sanding is finally over, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna bring the table back out, get some oil, and we're going to oil all of this up. It is an absolute beautiful day today, and let's see what time it is. It's about 3 o'clock, so I got about 2 hours left of sunlight, and I think I can get all this oiled up, which I'm super stoked about. I really want to get it oiled. So let's stage everything. I'm gonna clean up all the sanders, bring the table back out, and then we'll start oiling all this stuff. That's incredible. Holy crap. All right, 1 chair done. Probably took me about maybe 15, 20 minutes. So I'm gonna knock out these 2, but as you can see, looks pretty good. I can't really decide if I like it oiled or if I like it sanded, because I really like both of them, but just can't make up my mind. Go up to the cowboy. Table's done being oiled. Honestly, I don't really like the look of the top. It doesn't really look uniform. There's a bunch of different colors around, which is all right, but I think I probably would have just left it right after sanding with that nice little tan color. But it is what it is. I'm gonna put it where it needs to go, and then project's done. And come maybe mid-spring, or sorry, no, mid-summer to late summer, probably have to do all this again, but I think next time I'll probably just leave it just sanded. Not bad. I like it. I think it looks good. All right, y'all, if you've made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed me restoring this this nice little teak set I got off Marketplace. If you want to support me more and you like what I do, please hit the subscribe button down below. Like, share, comment, do whatever you want to do. But got a lot more videos coming up. I hope you guys stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.